Yeah, 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 da 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 da. In the heart of the city where the lights shine bright, there's a tale unfolding under the cover of night. The Federal Bureau, they've come to play, investigating whispers in the light of day. Seems allegations fly like shadows on the wall in the halls of power where the mighty fall. Bankruptcy fraud, they say he devised. Keith Freeman's game in the public eye, in the public eye. Fall. Keith Freeman's plight, a tale of corruption brought into the light.
Hey guys, I hope this is working. I hit the wrong damn key. It may have stopped everything. So if my audio seems off, it's because I've got the wrong audio. Hopefully you guys can hear me. That's the plan. That is the plan, that you guys can hear me all right. I guess we'll find out here shortly if you guys are like, no, you're muted. Good. That's good. That's good. Oh my gosh. What a crazy, crazy day. Oh man. I guess I hear you. Good, 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 good. Nope, nope, Shizzy. We can't hear you at all. You guys are fun. You guys are so much fun. I hope everyone is having a wonderful night. Good to see you, Mary Boyle. Hope everyone's having a good day on Thursday. I'm at your daughter's house. She has a community blessing box here at her house. We're making meals to hand out for Thanksgiving. That's very nice. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if you guys don't know a whole lot about this, now in Dolton, Illinois, there was a pretty bad scandal that happened. And we covered quite a bit of this early on. Hey, Wanda Perez, good to see you with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. And if you guys like, reach over, hit that thumbs up button and show a little bit of love. Thank you, Wanda. I appreciate you. Now, in this particular case, we had a really asinine mayor that got in power, and just sort of the outrageous amount of spending that was going on was just all of the constituents were getting more and more upset. She was doing and it's just really shady stuff, and they started digging into it, and it seems like the money was being misappropriated on trips to like Las Vegas and California, to Washington D.C., to just party on the taxpayers' dime. Meanwhile, the taxpayers are complaining because their streets are falling into disrepair, and they're starting to run a deficit where they're not paying for your basic services of lawn care and things like that. So they had hired this chief of police. Well, this chief of police named Louis A. Lacey filed bankruptcy, a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And this is why it becomes really important, because this person that's filing bankruptcy means that they probably have some quite a bit of information. Exactly. Yes, that mayor should be in jail. Now, that could easily be coming Henyard, yeah, has her sights on Georgia from what it appears. Well, that would be a bad idea for her to come to Georgia because nobody will tolerate that kind of shenanigans here. But it will be pretty interesting to see if she gets away with all of the craziness that she's been doing, especially now that this particular bankruptcy has sort of hit the main thing. It's going to be interesting to see. So this is where it comes in. There was an order that came in, and it said change of plea hearing held on 11/21. So this was just not even 4 days ago. Defendant is informed of his rights. Defendant enters a plea of guilty to count 1 of superseding indictment. Plea accepted. Judgment of guilty entered. Case is referred to the probation office for the presentance investigation report. The probation office is directed to disclose its sentencing recommendations to the government and defense counsel. The preparation of the that's a long word. For this report and sentencing date are deferred. Defendant's current bond to stand. Telephone status hearing is set for 3/9/2026 at 9 a.m. to join the telephone conference. Throughout the hearing, each speaker, it just gives like what they're going to be doing. If restitution is being sought in the case 60 days prior to sentencing date, the government shall provide the probation office and the courtroom deputy an electronic standardized spreadsheet with a list of victims and their full current contact information. This list shall include any amount subject to restitution. If the government is not able to provide the full victim list 60 days prior to sentencing, they shall file a motion to request an extension of time. And this is the plea agreement. We went over this a little bit last night, but it does not look too good because they're going to bring up quite a bit of information. Teflon Tiff needs to be in jail for all the crap yeah, exactly, Jaws. That is exactly right. She did a lot of shenanigans. I mean, it was bad. Mayor Henyard did some pretty bad stuff. Thanks for covering this. You live in the area. You've been following this for a year. Yes, PJ. I have been covering this for about a year now also. Just as new information would come out, I would be pulling up the and you can go back and see there's actually a short bit of podcast on there where we had, I mean, there was people breaking out in fights in these meetings, to the point where they ended up changing venues. She wouldn't show up, or she would show up late. She lost her shit whenever she lost her reelection. It is crazy. Not only Dolton, well, there's quite a few places that are like that, but this one really caught the attention of the news. Yeah, she's a real piece of work. And as much as you might think she wants to, she does not want to come to Georgia. They won't tolerate that. Oh, sorry you missed last night too, Tammy. Couldn't stay awake trying to fight off the crud. I hate that. Yeah, I've had a pretty bit of a headache, like right back here in the back of my head most of the day today. I've taken some Advil, and hopefully that'll get rid of it. Some ibuprofens, but don't you worry about it. So this person right here, defendant Louis A. Lacey, and his attorney Gal Pazinski, is made pursuant Rule 11. The charge in this case, now this is where it gets crazy. Devising a scheme to commit bankruptcy fraud in his 2019 and 2020 bankruptcy cases. Now, if you think about this, thunderclap headache. I don't know. Maybe it's because we got some cold weather and storms coming in. That could be it. But this particular, you think about this. Here we are in 2025. We're rolling like end of 2025. We're coming into 2026. It has taken this long for them to get this resolved. So in 2019 and 2020, they committed fraud. They lied to the court. And this also bears some relevance on those Hales folks, that the anti-Hales folks that are thinking, bankruptcy is going to get Lynette out of this, that they're going to be held immune from all of this, because anybody that was involved in this scheme, he's required by law to hand those names over. So if there was bankers that were doing shady things, people holding money, doing shady things, all of this comes out. They have to turn that over. If they don't turn it over, because they already know who these people are, if they don't turn that information over, and if they continue on the same path, it'll go much worse on them. It'll be a violation of their probation, according to these documents. And 2020 bankruptcy is in violation of Title 18, Section 152, making false statements under oath and pursuant to penalty of perjury in his 2019-2020 bankruptcy cases. In violation of Title 18 United States Code, counts 8 and 9, and fraudulently concealing assets. That's important, fraudulently concealing assets in his 2020 bankruptcy case in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 152, count 10. Defendant has read the charges against him contained in the superseding indictment. Those charges have been fully explained to him by his attorney, so counsel has explained all this to him. Defendant fully understands the nature and elements of the crimes with which he has been charged, no different than these freaks and fools should be finding these things out also. By this plea agreement, defendant agrees to enter a voluntary plea of the guilty following counts of receiving indictment. Count 1, which charges with devising a scheme to defraud. You have to remember that this is the federal government bringing these charges against them. And for the purpose of executing and concealing the scheme and attempting to do so, filing a petition commencing a bankruptcy case under Title 11 of the United States Codes in violation of Title 18, all of these things right here that they're doing, we see the same thing happening with Lynette. Now, even if she manages to she would have to start bringing all of these people in. If she's avoiding people that have donated money in her name, if she tries to conceal it or they try to conceal it, they can be held just as liable. And look at the amount of time that this person is going to get, plus the amount of fines that they have to pay. And this is why Jeremy has said, hey, you may want to come forward if you have made donations to those folks. Come forward and let Jeremy know. Because those kinds of actions that they've done, if the court finds that they're guilty of concealing money, that right there can lead to much more problems than they can even imagine at this point. Defendant will plead guilty because he is in fact guilty of the charge contained in count 1. In pleading guilty, defendant admits the following facts, and those facts, established by his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and constitute relevant conduct pursuant to Guideline 1B13. On or about August 22, 2019, at Chicago, in the Northern District of Illinois Eastern Division, defendant Louis A. Lacey, also known as Louis Anthony Lacey, Sr., for the purpose of executing and concealing a scheme to defraud and attempting to do so, filed and caused to be filed a petition under Title 11 of the United States Code initiating a Chapter 13 bankruptcy case. It wouldn't matter whether it's Chapter 13, Chapter 7. It falls under these same rules. The United States Bankruptcy Court, specifically at all times relevant to the scheme, Lacey was employed as a police officer by the village of Dolton, was married, and resided as a resident on White Oaks in Matteson, Illinois, the White Oaks residence, with his spouse, who was also employed. Lacey had control and signature authority over 3 bank accounts at Bank of America, including account number 15121, with his spouse and 3 accounts, the Chase accounts, at JP Morgan Chase. Lacey and his spouse caused income that they earned from their respective employment to be deposited into Bank of America account and paid their household expenses, including mortgage loan, with funds. On or about July 22nd, in this particular case right here, it was filed in the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois, against Lacey, seeking judgment in the amount of $88,800, the state case. Or on or about February 7th, Lacey entered into a settlement in the state case in which he agreed to pay the plaintiff approximately $55,000, the settlement agreement. So although they were looking for a judgment of $88,000, they managed to get it down to about $55,000. On or about June 19th, 2019, the plaintiff in the state case filed a motion to enforce the settlement agreement, alleging that Lacey was in default for failure to pay $43,000. Ooh, so there was supposed to be $55,000 paid. They only paid $43,000. Hey, Tizzy, good to see you. Good to see you lurking tonight. Welcome. You guys lurk away. There's nothing wrong with lurking. I do it often. And I've been working on, I don't know where my phone is. Anyhow, I've been working on a new song. It's pretty good. For the Sunday intro. It's spicy. For Sunday spice, it's going to be spicy. Now thereafter, they didn't forget, they just failed to pay. They only paid a little bit, about $12,000 of the amount due of the settlement agreement. Now, the circuit court set a status for the state case on August 2nd, 2019 to address the plaintiff's motion, thereafter beginning in or around the 19th and continuing until in or around June 20th in Chicago and Madison in the Northern District of Illinois, and elsewhere. Lacey devised and intended to devise a scheme to defraud. And for the purpose of executing and concealing the scheme and attempting to do so, filed and caused to be filed a petition commencing a bankruptcy case under Title 11 of the United States Code. Filed documents in a bankruptcy case under Title 11 of the United States Code made materially false and fraudulent representations concerning and in relation to proceeding under Title 11 at a time before and after the filing of the petition. It was part of the scheme that for purposes of obtaining a stay of the state. Oh, well, welcome, Fallen here. Good night, everyone. Listen while falling asleep. Will you sleep well, Fallen Hero? And I might show you guys a little bit of the video later. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Obtained a discharge of his debts, Lacey attempted to and did defraud his creditors and the Chapter 13 trustee by making false, fraudulent statements in oral statements and documents. Now, this is where it becomes really problematic for the kind of shenanigans that this person is doing. Made prior to an anticipation of the filing of Chapter 13 bankruptcy petition and filed with the bankruptcy court and at the 341 creditors meetings, those statements were designed and intended to falsely represent Lacey's actual financial circumstances, included by concealing the income of Lacey's non-filing spouse, who was then residing with Lacey and contributing to the payment of Lacey's expenses, including living and mortgage expenses. You notice where this is going here. So even if Lynette is not receiving any money, if John is residing there and contributing to the payment of her expenses, including living and mortgage expenses, concealing bank accounts and the true amount on deposit in these accounts, including those bank account numbers from which Lacey and his non-filing spouse were paying their expenses with their combined income and the Chase accounts, conceal those monthly payments under his proposed Chapter 13 plan of reorganization were calculated based on materially false information. Now, that would be any different than having money out there that someone raised in somebody else's name. would not be any different. You would have the same outcome here because they would consider it fraud on the court. And even if the bankruptcy goes away, this problem doesn't. Like if the bankruptcy ended tomorrow, they said, yep, we're not moving forward anymore, we're pulling out of it, it doesn't matter. It would still be considered fraud, especially because they will dig into it for the statements that were made under perjury. Gets crazy, doesn't it? So they're sort of between a rock and a hard place right now. Because the more they lie, the more deeper they're digging the hole. Now, around August of 22nd of 2019, Lacey caused to be filed a bankruptcy petition in the United States Bankruptcy Court in the Northern District of Illinois, thereby initiating the Chapter 13 bankruptcy case, in which automatically stayed the state case, thereby preventing the enforcement of the settlement agreement. The same day, Lacey filed a cause to be filed in the 2019 Lacey bankruptcy case, his schedules and statement of financial affairs signed under penalty of perjury that contain materially false statements included but not limited to the following examples. You notice a trend here. Lacey filed and caused to be filed Schedule AB that was false and fraudulent in response to question 17, deposits of money which required Lacey identify financial accounts. Lacey falsely represented the amount he had on deposit and that he only had 2 Bank of America checking accounts and did not disclose any accounts with Chase, when in truth, Lacey knew that he had an additional Bank of America account with substantially more on deposit than he had disclosed, and the Chase accounts. Lacey filed a cause to be filed as Schedule EF, disclosing a total unsecured debts of approximately $171,327, which Lacey sought to have discharged, including approximately $43,000 owed to the plaintiff as part of the settlement agreement in the state case. Lacey filed and caused to be filed as Schedule 1 that was false, fraudulent, in that Lacey, well knowing that he was married, not separated, and that his non-filing spouse was residing with him, earning income and contributing to the payment of Lacey's expenses, did not disclose his non-filing spouse's employment, occupation, employer, and monthly income, and falsely represented that his combined monthly income was approximately $4,995, when he knew that his monthly income was substantially in excess of $4,995, and that Lacey knew that he had calculated his monthly income without including his non-filing spouse's income. Gets crazier and crazier, doesn't it? After the 2019 bankruptcy case had been dismissed on or about January 13, 2020, the state case resumed on or about February 13th because it was no longer stayed, but no later than on or about the February 19th of 2020. Lacey met with bankruptcy attorneys for purpose of providing information to be used to prepare another Chapter 13 bankruptcy petition, associated schedules, and statement of financial affairs that falsely misrepresented, among other things, that he was married but separated, and that his spouse no longer resided with him and did not contribute to the payment of Lacey's household expenses, and did not disclose the true amount on deposit in bank accounts or the true number of bank accounts he was signatory on at Bank of America Chase. It's crazy. Why would somebody be this stupid? Well, it's one of those where you just say, well,
welcome to the shit show.
Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of twats. Monday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balder, dash poppycock bollocks and fuckery. Oh, I said, ooh. Hey, Kelsey, good to see you. Welcome over on the Rumble, joining here to hear it all. Well, you can hear every single bit of it right there. It's absolutely fine. And howdy, number one cat whisperer. This isn't a mirror of this nightmare of Jeremy Hills and George. I don't know what is exactly. Shit show. Yeah. It doesn't help with what happened today, but it's a story for another time. Yeah, there's plenty of stories out there, and I hope that everything's going good. So, on or about April 3rd, 2020, Lacey filed a cause to be filed a bankruptcy petition in the United States Bankruptcy Court in the Northern District, Illinois, thereby initiating a Chapter 13 bankruptcy case, which automatically stayed the state case, thereby preventing enforcement of a settlement agreement. The same day, Lacey filed another schedule, Lacey bankruptcy case, disclosing unsecured debts now for $186,354, which Lacey sought to have discharged, including approximately $43,000 owed to the plaintiff as part of the settlement agreement. Now, around June 24th, 2020, caused person A to apply for an advance on Lacey's behalf through the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL program, which provided loan assistance, including advances for up to $10,000 for businesses with 500 or fewer employees and other eligible entities. The EIDL program was designed to provide economic relief to small businesses that were experiencing temporary loss of revenue. EIDL Advance was a grant program offered together with EIDL program. EIDL Advance was designed to provide emergency economic relief to businesses that were experiencing a temporary loss of revenue as a result of the beer bug. At Lacey's direction, person A applied for the advance on behalf of Lacey on the basis of Lacey's operation of a purported business and requested the proceeds be deposited into one of Lacey's accounts at Chase. And there's the bank number, which account Lacey failed to disclose in his 2019 and 2020 bankruptcy cases. Lacey, however, did not own a business. Yeah. So do you think someone applied for a loan at the time that all the COOF stuff was happening, saying that they had a turtle rescue? It's easy to look up. You can actually see who applied for loans during the whole COOF, believe it or not, because it's government entities, so you can always look into those kinds of things and find out if someone applied for it and how much they received, if they did receive anything at all. Now, subsequently, Lacey transferred approximately $3,500 of the $10,000 advance to his daughter, and approximately $2,500 of the $10,000 advanced to person A. Lacey did not disclose to his bankruptcy attorney. The Chapter 13 trustee, the bankruptcy court, or his creditors, the application or the receipt of the $10,000 advance or his transfer of portions of that advance. Now, the foregoing facts are set forth solely to assist the court in determining whether a factual basis exists for the defendant's plea of guilty and are not intended to be complete or comprehensive statement of all of the facts within the defendant's personal knowledge regarding the charged crimes and related conduct. Now, the defendant understands that the charge to which he is pleading guilty carries the following statutory penalties: a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. This offense also carries a maximum of $250,000. Now, I want you to understand that just with this, a maximum of 5 years in prison and $250,000 just for lying. Just for lying on a bankruptcy, fraudulently filing things, hiding money. Defendant will be assessed $100 on the charge to which he's been pled guilty, in addition to any other penalty imposed. Now, there's some sentencing guideline calculations. Defendant understands in determining a sentence, the court is obligated to calculate the applicable sentencing guidelines range and to consider that range possible departures under those guidelines and other sentencing factors, which include the nature and circumstances of the offense and the history and characteristics of the defendant. The need for the sentence imposed to reflect on the seriousness of the offense, promote respect for the law, provide just punishment for the offense, and afford adequate deterrence to criminal conduct. Protect the public from further crimes of the defendant and provide the defendant with needed educational or vocational training, medical care, or other correctional treatment in the most effective manner. The kinds of sentences available. The need to avoid unwarranted sentence disparities among defendants with similar records who have been found guilty of similar conduct, and the need to provide restitution to any victim of the offense. Debbie Baker, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. And as always, you probably sent something to me on Cash App. I don't have my phone on me, but I do thank you in advance. Welcome, all you 5 new members. Welcome to
the shit show.
Every single day, a new flavor of thuggery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of trot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, mollockers, and fuggery. Ah, yes. You know, I'm going to see if I can do something really quick. I'm not sure I've got it done yet, but I can be doing something in the background while this is happening. Let me just see if I've created it. If I haven't, I'm going to show you where I'm at with this new video. I don't think I've exported it. Give me a second. And did I? Nope, I did not export it. Right there is not where it should go. It should go right there to videos, and I'm going to double check and make sure that I have it, because I can be doing this rendering in the meantime. From some music videos. And where is it? Ah, there we go. And there we go. We're going to put it right here and call it 1. And there we go. Save. And there it is. Well, going to export the hell out of that thing. Let's see what happens whenever it renders out. Should be pretty good. Take about 2 seconds, 3, 1, and boom, it's done. Man, I love this computer. It has done so much better. I wish you all a wonderful evening and a blessed Thanksgiving Day. Sent you $50 over the Cash App. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Debbie Baker, for the $50 super chat. You have been very supportive, and I definitely thank you so much. You know what, Debbie? Why don't I do this? Because I want you to see what all of your support and everybody else's support has been created. And this is only half done, just so you know. So give me just a second. I'm going to pull this thing up, and if you hold on just a second, you're going to get a view that you haven't seen before. And like I said, it's only half done. There's more to do on it, and I'll probably be working on it for Thanksgiving. So if you want to hold on just a second, and here we go. This is what I've been working on for Sunday Spice intro. Tell me what you guys think.
It's Sunday. Time to get a little spicy. Come closer. Let's begin. Stories dripping smooth like wine. Some are crooked, some divine. Whispers rising in the night. Touch the heat of Sunday spice. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Every laugh, a sweet device. Lose yourself in Sunday spice. Naughty secrets, little lies. Eyes are glowing, tongues collide. Doesn't matter if they're true. The fun is waiting here for you. Sunday spice. Take a taste. Sunday spice. No time to waste. Let it tease. Let it entice. You belong in Sunday spice. Don't fight it. You know what you want. Sunday. Spice.
Yeah, I think that worked out pretty good. I think that came out better than I hoped. If you play on a Sunday, Yamaha will be done before you even start. I know. That's why he always shows up a little bit late. That's why he always shows up a little bit late. Not spicy enough. YouTube hasn't struck it yet. Well, I'm not trying to get it that spicy. I gotta keep it somewhat child friendly. I misread your name and thought, oh, poor girl, she has a ton of laundry to do. I'm a washing machine. No, she is not a washing machine. You have a good night, Max, and you stay safe. You stay. I hope to see you again soon, very soon. Good night, Max. Get some rest. Yeah, that was very nice, and it was Debbie Baker that helped fund getting this new computer, so I can render that stuff so much faster. You saw the amount of time that it took to render that. It used to take me like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes just to render something like that. 34C is one of my favorite sizes. Good night, Max. All right, let's get back to this one right here. Now, because now that I've got you guys all a little hot and steamy there. Now there's gonna be more to that video. You just gotta wait on it though. It takes time to get the clips just right. Now, for the purpose of calculating the sentencing guidelines, the parties agree to the following points. And those are just the sentencing guidelines that they give, the offense calculations, because the base offense level is 6 pursuant to guidelines. Now that offense level is increased by 10 levels pursuant to this right here. Because of the loss as measured by the amount of debt sought to be discharged exceeds 150,000 but was less than 250,000. Now the offense level is increased by 2 levels pursuant to this because the offense involved 10 or more victims. The offense level is increased by 2 levels pursuant to this one because the offense involved a misrepresentation or other fraudulent action during the course of a bankruptcy proceeding. Now that right there, you have to remember that these are the sentencing guidelines. So it is increased by 10 levels, and then those 10 levels are increased by 2, and those levels are increased by 2 more. And the offense level is increased by 2 levels pursuant because the offense involves sophisticated means and the defendant intentionally engaged in or caused the conduct constituting sophisticated means. Now, I'd have to ask what a bankruptcy attorney would know about something like this, because it sounds to me, or somebody that knows the law, because it sounds to me like the base level is 6, and it increases by 10 more, so that puts it up to 16. And then 2 more levels, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It looks like it's 22 more levels on top of, the base 6. The government understands the defendant will truthfully admit to the conduct compromising the offense of conviction and truthfully admit or not falsely deny any additional relevant conduct for which the defendant is accountable under Guideline 1B13. Therefore, based upon facts known to the government, defendant has clearly demonstrated a recognition and affirmation acceptance of personal responsibility for his criminal conduct. If the government does not receive additional evidence in conflict with this provision, and if the defendant continues to accept responsibility for his actions within the meaning of the guideline included by furnishing the United States Attorney's Office and the Probation Office with all the requested financial information relevant to his ability to satisfy any fine that may be imposed in this case, a 2-level reduction in the offense level is appropriate, bringing it down to about a level 20. Instead of 22. In accordance with this, the defendant has timely notified the government of his intention to enter a plea of guilty, thereby permitting the government to avoid preparing for trial and permitting the court to allocate its resources efficiently. Therefore, as provided by these guidelines, if the court determines the offense level to be 16 or greater prior to determining that defendant is entitled to a 2-level reduction for acceptance of responsibility, the government will move for an additional 1 level of reduction in the offense level. But they're at like level 20 right now. How can anyone call him sophisticated? Yeah, Lacey is so stupid. That's right. Lacey is so stupid. How could anyone call him sophisticated? Don't forget the thumbs up. That's right, Libby. Don't forget that thumbs up. And if you haven't checked out Libby's channel, it has a nice space channel. Talks about science. It's pretty cool. I don't get Thanksgiving dinner until Friday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Debbie. I'll be doing some. I gotta smoke some turkey breast. Good stuff. And bake a pecan pie. Yeah, I make a really good pecan pie, and I make my own whipped cream with a little bit of, it's like a teaspoon of maple syrup in there. Ooh, instead of sugar. Oh, so much. Ooh, it's like explodes in flavor. Based on the facts of known to government, defendant does not receive any criminal history points from Chapter 4, Part A, otherwise meets the criteria. Therefore, the offense level is decreased by another 2 levels. So 20, 19, 18 gets it down to 18 levels. Ooh, pecan pie. Yeah, I make my own pecan pie. Recipe? Recipe? You want a recipe for pecan pie? Joy of cooking. This is the recipe. Just that's where I got it from. I think I went online and figured it out. It's like one of those old 60s or 70s, cooking shows, like not Julia Child, but someone similar to that. And man, it is using that cane syrup is so good. Brown sugar, cane syrup. As not a turkey skin. Yeah, as long as it's not a turkey skin. No, I don't think there'll be any skin on the turkey. Well, if there is, that's actually a good thing because that'll keep some of the smoke at bay on the turkey itself. I have the book. Yeah, it's an easy recipe. Just I make sure that I don't overcook it too long. That's the hard part. People think that it's still jiggly and then they cook it longer, or they don't cook it enough because they're like, oh, it doesn't need to be cooked any longer. Yeah, pecan tree. Yeah, pecans all over the place. With regard to determining defense criminal history and criminal history category based on the facts known to the government, the criminal history point equal 0 and defendant's criminal history category is 1. Anticipated advisory sentence guideline range. Therefore, based on the facts known to the government, the anticipated offense level is 17, which, when combined with the anticipated criminal history category of 1, results in an anticipated advisory sentencing guidelines range of 24 to 30 months imprisonment, in addition to any supervised release and fine the court may impose. So if he doesn't abide by what he's supposed to do, that means that he's looking at a range of 20 to 24, like 2 years, pretty close to hitting that 3-year mark, but not quite. And that's if they abide by all the rules. If they find more shit that they've done, they could increase that amount. Defendant and his attorney, the government, acknowledge that the guideline calculations set forth in this agreement are purely preliminary in nature and non-binding predictions upon which neither party is entitled to rely. Defendant understands the above calculations are based on information now known to the government and that further review of the facts or applicable legal principles may lead the government to change its position on the guideline calculations. Defendant understands that the probation office will conduct its own investigation and the court ultimately determines the facts and law relevant to sentencing, and that the court's determinations govern the final guideline calculation. Accordingly, the validity of this agreement is not contingent upon the defendant, the probation officers, or the court's concurrence with the above calculations, and defendant shall not have a right to withdraw his plea on the basis of a change in the government's position on the guideline calculation or the court's rejection of these calculations. Now, both parties expressly acknowledge that this agreement is not governed by the federal criminal procedures, and that errors in applying or interpreting any of the sentencing guidelines may be corrected by either party prior to sentencing. The parties may correct these errors by a statement to the probation office or the court setting forth any changes in either party's position regarding the guidelines, calculations. The validity of this agreement will not be affected by such corrections. The defendant shall not have the right to withdraw his plea, nor the government the right to vacate this agreement on the basis of such corrections. Now, cooperation. Defendant agrees he will fully and truthfully cooperate in any manner in which he is called upon to cooperate by a representative of the United States Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Illinois. This cooperation shall include providing complete and truthful information in any investigation and pretrial preparation and complete and truthful testimony in any criminal, civil, or administrative proceeding. Defendant agrees to the postponement of his sentencing until after the conclusion of his cooperation. Now, this right here is really, really important because this right here, if he knows of any shenanigans that was happening under his watch in Dolton, specifically one little mayor there, You got to understand that cooperation shall include providing complete, truthful information in any investigation and pretrial preparation and complete and truthful testimony in any criminal, civil, or administrative proceeding. And that's not for him. That's for what he knows was happening in Dolton. So any questions that they have for him, that right there is going to become super, super important, because that could really destroy Hainier in the worst possible way. I prefer inside the turkey too, but Dawn's mama makes a divine out of bird dressing, so no complaints. They like the dressing inside the turkey. Now, see, I do. My wife, whenever she makes a turkey, she gets all sciencey on it and everything. So she, whenever she does like a whole turkey, there's just the two of us this year. I mean, normally we would have family. We would have probably done a whole turkey, but this year it's just the two of us. So it's going to be a small amount. Teflon Tiff could not lie straight in bed. Oh, that's true. That's true. Now, agreements relating to sentencing. At the time of sentencing, the government shall make known to the sentencing judge the extent of the defendant's cooperation. If the government determines that the defendant has continued to provide full and truthful cooperation as required by this agreement, then the government shall move the court pursuant to specific guideline to depart downward from the low end of the applicable guideline range in an amount to be determined by the government at the time of sentencing. Defendant shall be free to recommend any sentence. Shizzy, ever had White Castle? Yes, I have had White Castle. I've had White Castle. I've had Crystal. I've had them all. I don't think there's too many places I haven't had. Tasty Freeze. Yeah, I've had some crazy food. I think Tiff is going to be spending some time in Joliet. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Joliet is jail. there's jail there in Joliet. Pretty big one on the outskirts of town. They have a little sign up that says, "Don't stop. Don't roll down your windows. Just wait until that thing pops up." No, it's better than that. Her cooking is much better than that. She'll like if we were making a turkey, she would have started brining it tomorrow night. She brines it 24 hours ahead of cooking it. So she'd probably put it in tonight, is what she would have done. Had her whole mixture and the apples and all that stuff in the brine. It would have been done soaking. And sitting out in an ice bath. Sore eyes. Now, defendant, if the government does not move the court pursuant to guideline to depart from the applicable guideline range as set forth above, the preceding paragraph of this agreement will be inoperative. Both parties shall be free to recommend any sentence, and the court shall impose a sentence taking into consideration the factors set forth, as well as the sentencing guidelines, without any downward departure for cooperation pursuant. Defendant may not withdraw his plea of guilty because the government has failed to make a motion pursuant to those guidelines. It is understood by the parties that the sentencing judge is neither a party nor bound by this agreement, may impose a sentence up to the maximum penalties as set forth above. Defendant further acknowledges that if the court does not accept the sentencing recommendation of the parties, defendant will have no right to withdraw his guilty plea. So what they're saying here is even if there's always a possibility that they can make these recommendations to the court, and the court could say, nope, I'm giving him the maximum. We're not following those guidelines. I'm giving him 5 years in prison. I don't care whether he helps you out or not. It doesn't matter. Good evening, Vanessa. How you doing? Good to see you. Good evening. I just received a generous donation from your sister, AMD, and I'd like to ask chat where they can give some money out to you too. She said, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Vanessa. That's always very thoughtful." Generous donation from your sister. And I'd like to ask chat where I can give out some money, and you too, Shizzy. Where you can give out money. I mean, there's always something like St. Jude's that you can donate to. That's a recognized charity. Those are the kinds of places that do a lot of good. I think a lot of people do donate to charities like that. Wherever, if you are donating a generous amount of money, make sure that you look into and vet the place, and it's going to do something. It's going to do something to help out a large amount of people, and they don't take a whole lot off the top. Vet them out really well. Do something local to you. Yeah, exactly. There's also like your local animal shelters if you like animals, colleges, those kinds of things. So, those are things that you can always donate to. I mean, it's worthwhile. Or you can just, send money my way. I mean, I'll make sure that I spend it like horribly. Just kidding. Children's hospitals. Yeah. There's lots of children's hospitals that you can do those for also. And that's just the best way to do it. Military veterans associations. Those are always helpful. You can do anything. If I've ever heard about Campbell's Company putting fake meat in their soups without listening to, why is this legal? I never heard about that, Lily. I don't know anything about that. If they're putting fake meat in their soups, I don't know. That sounds strange to me. I don't know why they'd want to. They don't hardly put any meat in their soups anyway. It's mainly just soup with a little bit of vegetables and broth. So I couldn't tell you. Tug, Jeremy, and George is better than any book on tape. Lord knows very few of us have time to even read a book these days. All you're going to have is an encyclopedia by the time it's done. Well, thank you, Ronnie. We appreciate that. And what was that? Oh, definitely. Thank you, Colleen. Happy birthday, Thanksgiving to you and your wifey. Thank you. And we will be, like I said, we'll be celebrating here. I'm picking up some turkey breast tomorrow, so I can smoke that. I had to order it because normally you just can't just get turkey breast. You have to get the whole damn turkey, and I don't want the whole damn turkey. I just want the breast. I like the boobies. After sentencing has been imposed, the count to which the defendant pleads guilty is agreed herein. The government will move to dismiss the remaining counts of the superseding indictment, as well as the indictment as to defendant. There is some acknowledgement and waivers. Nature of agreement. It's entirely voluntary. Represents the entire agreement between the United States attorney and the defendant regarding defendant's criminal liability. This agreement concerns criminal liability only. Except as expressly set forth in this agreement, nothing herein shall constitute a limitation, waiver, or release by the United States or any of its agencies of any administrative or judicial claim. Pretty standard stuff. Obligations, waiver of rights. Understands that by pleading guilty, surrenders certain rights, including the following: trial rights. And I'm just looking just to see if there's anything in here, if trial by jury, all that kind of stuff. It just basically lets you know whether they were guilty or not. So it's going through trial rights. At a trial would have the privilege against self-incrimination, so they could decline to testify. The second part is waiver of appellate and collateral rights. So this is important here also. Defendant further understands that he's waiving all appellate issues that might have been available if he had exercised his right to trial. So in not exercising his right to trial, he's waiving the ability to appeal this right here. Defendant is aware that under Title 28 United States Code, Section 1291, Title 18, United States Code, Section 3742, afford a defendant the right to appeal his conviction and the sentence imposed. Acknowledging this, if the government makes a motion at sentencing for a downward departure pursuant to guideline, defendant knowingly waives the right to appeal his conviction, any pretrial rulings by the court, and any part of the sentence or manner in which the sentence was determined, including any term of imprisonment and fine within the maximums provided by law, and including any order of forfeiture, in exchange for the concessions made by the United States in this agreement. In addition, if the government makes a motion at sentencing for a downward departure pursuant to this guideline, defendant also waives his right to challenge his conviction and sentence and the manner in which the sentence was determined in any collateral attack or future challenge, including but not limited to a motion brought under this. The waiver in this paragraph does not apply a claim of involuntariness or ineffective assistance of counsel, nor does it prohibit defendant from seeking a reduction of sentence based directly on a change in the law that is applicable to defendant, and that prior to the filing of defendant's request for relief has been expressly made retroactive by an act of Congress, the Supreme Court, or the United States Sentencing Commission. Now, they understand that by pleading guilty, he's waiving all the rights set forth in the prior paragraphs, with the exception of the appellate rights specifically preserved above. Defendant's attorneys explain those rights to him and the consequences of his waiver of those rights. Pre-sentence investigation report, post-sentence supervision. Ooh, I think we need a little break from reading for a second. I think we should give you guys a little taste of something fresh. What do I have? I got another one I've been working on, but I don't think it's ready yet. Nope, it's not ready yet. We'll just read some chat here for a second. I have smoked turkey, best flavor ever. Yeah, it sometimes it can be too flavorful on a smoked turkey. It depends on what kind of wood you're using. I'll be your financial friend for free unless you turn out to be a weirdo. That's really nice of you, Levy. That's really nice of you. Probably about a month and a half. I can see what I post, but no one else can. I think everybody can see what you just posted. I don't know what happened. Finally, the law does work somewhere. No, the law does tend to work everywhere. You just have to get it to the point where, a judge hears it, or, people accept responsibility. Now, the defendant understands the United States Attorney's Office in its submission to the probation office as part of the pre-sentence report, and at sentencing shall endeavor to ensure that the relevant facts and sentencing factors as applied to the facts are brought to the district court's attention fully and accurately, including the facts related to defendant's criminal conduct and related conduct, and any relevant information concerning the defendant's background, character, and conduct. Defendant agrees to truthfully and completely execute a financial statement with supporting documentation prior to sentencing, and to be provided to and shared among the court, the probation office, United States Attorney's Office regarding all details of his financial circumstances, including his recent income tax returns as specified by the probation officer. Defendant understands that providing a false or incomplete information or refusing to provide this information may be used as a basis for denial of reduction or acceptance of responsibility pursuant to a guideline, and enhancement of his sentence for obstruction of justice under such guideline as stated, and may be prosecuted as the violation of a Title 18 United States Code, or as in contempt of court. Most courts are fine, but what you see on YouTube are the problems. Most courts are fine. What you see on YouTube are the problems. Well, and it just depends on what you look at. Save the neck for me, Shizzy. You know it. probably about a month and a half, I can see what I post, but no one else can. I am not bragging at all. For the past 25 years, I've donated to the animal shelters, children's hospitals. My first was a disabled vet. Today, I have $900 a month going to charities. Well, that is so kind of you. That's so kind of you, Debbie. And at this time of year is whenever people tend to need it the most, as do the animals. I don't understand what you mean. Watch one of my YouTube shorts and I'll be happy. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just watch one of his YouTube shorts. That's his channel right there. And you get to yeah, it just makes him happy. Just watch hours. Just watch the stuff. You will be sufficiently impressed. Vanessa, you don't need to buy friends. They're not your friend if all they want is your money. Exactly, Debbie. That is absolutely true. If all they want is your money, then they're not your friends. You shouldn't have to buy your friends ever. You shouldn't have to buy your friends. If you're finding that you have to do that, then those people you want to stay clear of. With his obligations to pay a fine during any terms of supervised release or probation to which the defendant further consents to the disclosure by the IRS to the probation officer, United States Attorney of defendant's individual income tax returns. So all of that should be sufficient. Now, there's some other terms that they have here. They agree to cooperate with the United States Attorney's Office in collecting any ordered fine for which the defendant is liable, including providing financial statements. They do understand that if convicted, a defendant who is not a United States citizen may be removed, denied citizenship. And in conclusion, here it is. The defendant understands that this agreement will be filed with the court, will be a matter of public record, may be disclosed to any person. Defendant understands that his compliance with each part of this agreement extends throughout the period of his sentence, and failure to abide by any term of the agreement is a violation of the agreement. Defendant further understands that in the event he violates this agreement, the government, at its option, may move to vacate the agreement, rendering it null and void, and thereafter prosecute defendant not subject to any of the limits set forth in this agreement, or may move to resentence defendant or require defendant-specific performance of this agreement. Defendant understands, agrees that in the event that the court permits defendant withdraw from this agreement, blah, 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 that they can basically prosecute the defendant. Any prosecutions that are not time barred by the applicable statute of limitations on the date of the signing of this agreement may be commenced against the defendant in accordance with this paragraph. Should the judge refuse to accept defendant's plea of guilty, this agreement shall become null and void, and neither party will be bound to it. Now, and then down the last page, this right here was signed out. Defendant and attorney acknowledge that no threats, promises, or representations have been made, nor agreements reached other than those set forth in this agreement to cause defendant to plead guilty. Now, this is also a really important phrase, because this is going to be the same kind of phrase that you're going to see that Lynette signed in an agreement whenever she left that court case. You know, the initial temporary restraining order that was put by Judge Grudge, in that case right there where she was trying to get a permanent restraining order and she dropped the case on it, they were still continuing. They were planning on still continuing on with it, but she decided that she wanted to drop out at the last minute. This would have been something that she would have agreed to. Probably, and most likely, I would say that it would be not just her, but her attorney, Randy, and Jeremy would have all, you know, his law firm, Randy's law firm, Shockett Law Group, would have probably agreed to something similar to that they acknowledge that there's no threats, promises, or representations have been made, nor agreements reached other than those set forth in this agreement to cause defendant to plead guilty. Now, that right there is, you know, not pleading any guilt, but that would have been the similar same wording that would have been there. And this is something that she signed off on. So whenever they're coming back looking for Silver Scam and wanting to go after him over doing bad, shady stuff, no, I don't buy that unless they've got some absolute proof that that kind of thing happened. Now, if my theory is correct, there might have been somebody reaching out to Silver Scam the whole time that case was happening. And if I am correct and I find proof of it, I'll expose the hell out of it. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you all so much. Oh yeah, definitely, Vanessa. We love having you here. You'll live in my heart forever. Aw, thank you. It is wonderful. My dad said if someone wants to borrow money, make sure you have the money to give, because there's no guarantee you will ever see that money again. Yeah. If someone wants to borrow money, go with it with the idea that you're never going to see that money again, ever. And also help people that need help, but don't ever give more than you can afford to give, ever. Yeah. That's always a bad thing. And plan for the future just a little bit. Try to, at least. I mean, I try to. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And this right here was the following order of the captioned case: petitions by the registration disciplinary, just basically showing that how much they're going to respond, the respondent notifying the administrator, probation. The practice of law shall be supervised by a licensed attorney. Respondent shall provide notice to the administrator of any change in supervised attorney. In preparation and maintenance of the receipt, preparation and maintenance of contemporaneous ledger records for all client trusts, maintenance of copies of all accountings, maintenance of all client trust account, maintenance of copies. Probation shall be revoked if the respondent is found to have violated any of the terms of probation. Suspension is effective April 9th, 2024. So that was part of the original, bond hearing. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Debbie, you always greet me. Yes. Well, I can't always greet every single person that comes in, but it is something to keep in mind when you hear all of the crazy shenanigans happening, especially with the Fats and the anti-Hale crowd over there. Whenever they're talking a whole bunch of game, it doesn't really mean a whole lot of anything, because their actions are showing something completely different from what the words that are coming out of their mouth. They're saying that they're not doing X, Y, or Z, yet they turn around and do X, Y, or Z. They talk about not going after channels, yet you see them going after channels on a regular basis and calling on their people to do that. We don't do that here. We don't go after people's channels. Let them do their thing. We're just going to call out the craziness as we see it. And of course, that will always drive them up the wall, because they don't like being called out on their shenanigans. We're used to it. We've seen it quite a bit. Give me a dang it. Greet me, dang it. Oh, gotcha. You, Debbie, always greet me. Yeah, we do try to be a little bit kind over here. You know, it's a more laid back crowd most days. And sometimes we get upset. Sometimes we're just chill. I'm going to see if I've got any good stuff coming up for you here, because I know that Turkey Day is going to be interesting. I'll probably be smoking a turkey most of the day. Once I get the heat right, I don't know how long it'll take. It shouldn't take very long, because normally smoking a turkey, let's see, I smoked a chicken. It was just a few hours. So it shouldn't take any longer than that, I would imagine, if it's just doing a turkey breast. Like I said, I've done a whole chicken before, and it came out pretty damn awesome. Wish you one a very happy Thanksgiving with family and friends. Yes, same here. And that should be what we should be looking forward to. You know, if you can't spend time with family, at least you can spend time with friends. If you can't spend time with friends, well, there will be a whole bunch of people on YouTube, I guarantee, streaming and enjoying just a day I may fire up my gaming and head over on my other channel and do some gaming over there. Like I said, if I do, I'll post it, and there might be other shenanigans going on. Who knows what craziness will happen in the next couple of days, because it always seems to happen right around this time of year. All the craziness lets loose, and it doesn't let up until the end of the year. Always a great time to be out of town around the holidays. That was smoking turkey better than smoking weed? Probably. I would say, different ways of smoking it. Different ways of smoking it. You got to be careful with which one that you're throwing in your fire and which one you're actually inhaling. You have another channel? Yes, I do. Do have another channel. It is strictly a gaming channel. And that's all I do over there. I don't play anything that's like should get me in trouble. Last time I played something, I got copyright struck for the music, which was crazy. Yeah, I can throw it up there. It's like I said, it's just a basic gaming channel that I go on. There it is, and I'll post it right there. Yeah, so that if I do fire up a game, like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I think I've got 35 videos on there. So I've probably streamed about 35 times. And I just do those. I do those for fun. Yeah, that's the gaming channel right there on the YouTubes. Now, if it's on Twitter or if it's on Twitch or Rumble, it'll just be streaming over there. So if you're subscribed, you'll see it over there. Oh, thank you, Emma. No, it's fun. Like I said, I do that just to, whenever I don't want to talk anything Hales or politics or anything like that, I just want to do some serious gaming. Then that's where I go. Now I think I've done a couple of 2-hour, maybe 3-hour streams over there. Those tend to be much longer streams. So just so you can always come in and out as you like, and I can always leave. I don't game, but it's fun watching other people play sometimes. Well, and it just depends on what I do. I need to get a posse together in Red Dead. See, I don't do the online games. That's the thing. The only online game that I do is World of Warplanes. And those are mostly bots anymore. I think it's been a while since I've played World of Warplanes. Been quite a while. Then I might fire a couple of old games and maybe do some Sniper Elite or some other stuff. We'll just have to see. Let's see. Some so I can post in the future. Oh, thank you. I don't game. Yeah, it's always fun. Your sister was born in 1977, and she has a golden bathtub, gold door, and 4 golden mansions now. Oh, that's pretty awesome. I like that people get to enjoy a gold. I don't know if I'd want a golden bathtub though. It wouldn't sound like a whole lot of fun. I'm just happy being able to take a shower in clean water. That's me. I'm usually pretty chill about stuff. You see the instruments back there. That's probably the what I spent most of my money on was musical instruments. I mean, that one was probably the most expensive one right there, the Ernie Ball Music Man, and I got that at a discount. It's like a $1,200 bass now. I think I paid like $4 or something like that for it. It was sweet. It's a sweet bass. It's got some scarring on it, and it's been ragged all to hell. What I need to do is take it apart and then refinish the whole thing. The wood doesn't look good on it anymore. Just because someone painted it white, and I had to scrape all the old crap off of it. Play a lot of F-25s, FS-25. I don't know what that is. F-25. Plays Twister. Well, yeah, when Shizzy plays Twister is the best. I haven't played Twister in a while. Man, if I do that, I'm probably going to hurt something. You know, it would be like me to hurt something really bad on my body. Let's see. I think it. Oh, by the way, day after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna have to look because I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. I have a new video that'll be coming out. It is, double checking to make sure that I've got it up there. So let's look. Videos. Why is it acting so slow? The YouTube is acting the slowest right now. There we go. So yeah, I've got one coming out, a Christmas song on November 28th. I think that's right. Let me see. What day is that? I think I should have it come out on Thursday. And I think I will set it for, so I'm changing the date on it. It'll be good. It'll be, let's give it a nice good, oh, how about 8 o'clock? How's that sound? I'll schedule it to come out at 8 o'clock. Did you ever save your first dollar? Sometimes people frame the first buck they made. No. I was too busy to to actually be able to save my first dollar. Really, and it would have been online anyway. The first dollar. No, I'm just kidding. My first dollar? God, no. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have seen that since 1984. Nope. Back further, my first dollar would have been 70, 75, 76. Yeah, about 75 or 76 first dollar that I made. That was mowing lawns. Yeah, that would have been about the first dollar I made. Oh well, I like this corner over here by myself much better, staying out of trouble for a while. Yeah, you don't worry, you're not getting yourself in any trouble. I'll do that. Should the stars align. I like that. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it. What 1610, absolutely, you're right. All jokes aside, that's what really counts. Yeah. Always does. If he was on DVD, getting for Christmas. Oh, I like that twaddle bum. Oh well, this is, what is it? Did you see my question? Reply of Valhalla's send go link. I don't know what that is off the top of my hat. But you can always go to Valhalla's channel, and I'm sure he has a link to it. Valhalla Waits has a channel where he's trying to raise money, give send go, which goes directly to an attorney to take care of the probate on his father's estate. So that's something to consider if you were wanting to help him get his father's stuff straightened out. It's crazy, and I basically, his father didn't leave him anything. From what I understand, it was his mother that he was left something, but his mother just took the money. So he's trying to get it probated just to show everybody, hey, this is what happened. And why is that not working? Next on. There we go. Submit. Crazy. Why are my shorts not working like they should? They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Or maybe they are. Yeah, the shorts seem to be doing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I don't know. I was just looking at some crazy stuff. What was it that somebody asked? I was working on that dollar. Can't really frame 74 cents. I like that. Still, you can really frame 74 cents. See, what I do is whenever my wife and I make trips out of, that are outside of the norm, like somewhat of like a vacation, I usually gather a stone from those places. I've got some that come from, what is it? King Arthur's Seat. I think that's the name of it in the UK. Arthur's Seat, or I can't remember the name. It's like right outside Edinburgh. And then there's I've got one from France, another one from Italy. Yeah. I just, I find a place that's really cool. Oh yeah, I got one right outside the Coliseum. It wasn't a piece of the Coliseum, just outside the Coliseum. It was probably left there in the 90s or something. Where's the eye candy for us girls? So you want some eye candy for the girls? Well, let's see if I can get you some eye candy for the girls. All right, because I know how you guys like the you like the eye candy. I got it for you. Give me just a second, and I will pull it up. Because why not? Remove from studio there and present a video file. Let's see if we've got one here for you, just for you ladies. It is going to be right here. And you want some eye candy? All right, here you go. You're going to get some eye candy.
I swear I planned a normal night. We're cooking pasta, nothing rough, but somehow dinner turns to butt stuff. Tried yoga, just a gentle puff. Downward dog, well, butt stuff. No matter what we do, it's wild enough. Coffee target runs still, butt stuff. You say keep it classy, I say sure enough. Give it 5 minutes, butt stuff. We're folding laundry, calm and tough. Then boom, sock puppet, butt stuff. Watching nature docs, all scholarly gruff. Cue the meerkat, butt stuff. No matter what we do, it's wild enough. Brunch or book club, still butt stuff. You say change the topic, I say off the cuff. Oops, there it is, butt stuff. Try to talk about taxes. That's rough. Somehow deductions. Butt stuff. Life's a classy buffet, but here's the bluff. Everything eventually turns to butt stuff. Costumes, I wear the fight. I'm the last paragraph that ends the sight. You wanted smoke, I bring forecast maps. Lines draw clean while your narrative snaps. Try to go fast, trip over your caps. I pace like chess, you stumble like apps. I'm a true villain on a mic, shadow with a code. That umbrella got the best host from coast to coast. Code. Dropping nukes, let the fossils decompose. Boom. Driving the story where the real info goes. Watching all the others falling curtain close. When receipts rain, everybody knows. No. When the others misstep, it's a rap case closed. TUG press lines that the timeline chose. Umbrella. Storms passing, but the ground still shakes. Umbrella. Truth lands heavy when the mask unflakes. Umbrella. Name stamp bold on the floodgate. Umbrella. That umbrella guy shows up and steps to the plate. Your fate, your fate, your fate. Your fate, your fate, your fate. That umbrella guy shows up and steps to the plate. Your fate, your fate, your fate, your fate. Your fate, your fate, your fate, your fate.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I hope you guys have had a wonderful night. I'm going to leave you with the same outro that I came and used as an intro. And there, right there, Jay Libby says right there is Valhalla's Give, Send, Go. If anybody wants to help Valhalla out, Like I said, he has more information there on that than like Give and Go that will be able to take you there. Magic Angel, I don't know if I have read your first statement. You said earlier your phone is acting up and may have missed it. I don't know. There's always a possibility. Yes, he does have a goat channel, and I will probably be sending you guys somewhere here shortly. As soon as this stream ends, I'll be firing you off. And somebody I guarantee is going to be streaming. I may even be joining them. So stay tuned, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and if I don't, I should be seeing you tomorrow. I'm positive. I've got something else I want to show you guys that I've been working on. It's not music. It's just some other court stuff, and we'll go over it tomorrow. It's gonna be fire if everything shows like I think it is. Then you're gonna be amazed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, 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 da 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 da. In the heart of the city where the lights shine bright, there's a tale unfolding under the cover of night. The Federal Bureau, they've come to play, investigating whispers in the light of day. Oh, Mayor Henyard, what have you done? The FBI's here and they're looking for someone. Keith Freeman caught in a fraudulent scheme. The South Suburb scandal, more than it seems. Allegations fly like shadows on the wall in the halls of power where the mighty fall. Bankruptcy fraud, they say he devised. Keith Freeman's game in the public eye. In the public eye. Oh, Mayor Henyard, what have you done? The FBI's here and they're looking for someone. Keith Freeman caught in a fraudulent scheme. The South Suburb scandal, more than it seems. Mayor Henyard's fall, Keith Freeman's plight, a tale of corruption brought into the light.
All right, guys, send you